It is not quite tuned in, but you're live, so you can't mess with it now.
Yeah.
Hit that other little riff you were hitting.
I can't. I was
No. It was just
something like that. It's too out of tune too. I'll do it later. I'll get it next time.
Oh, that's cool. Guys, it is Monday. It's 5 o'clock. Chris Pesek, broker associate at the Dripping Springs home team of Pesek Properties, here with my good buddy, Stephen Babcock, NMLS number 308028 at CMG.
Is it the right number? Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Is it? That would have been funny.
28.
Anyway,
Yeah, it is.
My man at CMG Financial. Guys, it's Monday, and it's time for us to talk a little bit of real estate, a little bit of mortgage. And like I don't do this very often, but I need to remind you guys, everything's a lot more fun with audience participation. So if you've got questions, if you want to make fun out of Steven, just pop it in the comments. I'll put it up on there, and we can all laugh. But no making fun of me. That's my ego's too fragile for that. So, let's not do that. Yeah, exactly.
Start my way.
Man. The strong guy over here.
So what are you drinking, brother?
Man, you know what? We had a warm front come in, and we got rain, and it's humid. So I'm rolling with the Goodnight Loving vodka drink. Here, I'll give you a little secret that friends of mine shared with me. There is a guava kombucha that we mix with vodka and a little bit of lemon juice and sparkling water. It might be next to like straight whiskey and beer. It might be the perfect mixed drink, especially on like a warm day or a humid day. It's so refreshing. It might be the perfect mixed drink. The only thing that makes it better is when you use Revolution Gin instead of Goodnight Loving vodka. The gin just adds a little something to it. Dude, it's off the charts. Just saying.
Good stuff.
Guava kombucha. Who knew?
You know what? For me, it's just straight whiskey. Maybe on the rocks, actually, typically, preferably on the rocks.
1 or 2 ice cubes for me. Yep.
And that's about as complicated as I get. Every now and then I'm handed a girly drink, and I try that, and they're great. I'm not sure I can call them those anymore, but I hope you know what I mean by saying that. Just something with a lot of sugar. Other than that, I drink beer, and I know that has lots of sugar too. So whatever, fine. Just doesn't really taste like my ex's was green apple martinis. Granted, that was probably a college thing. I don't know.
Wait a minute. Right now. Your ex-girlfriend.
Ex from college. Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say, you weren't married before, were you? Okay.
No. Okay. No, I was close to it though. I got real close to it.
Yeah, you and me both. Everybody's learning new stuff.
Cheers. This is what I'm drinking tonight.
Cheers, brother. Is that Heineken? Oh, the green barrel.
Absolutely. I need like a new cover or something on this thing. It's too much.
You got to have one of those fuzzy covers or something. I don't know. Man, let's get started on real estate here. It's not a sure thing yet, but I'm negotiating with 2 builders, and I'm pitting them against each other. For one of my buyers' contract.
Oh, that's genius.
Oh my God. It is,
dude.
It is ethereal almost at this point. It is amazing.
For those of you that don't understand this, lenders can not. Well, I don't want to say it this way. Let me explain it the real way. Lenders are not allowed to change how much they charge people. Ever. Okay, you cannot do it, right? Chris can't come to me and I charge him less than I would charge, just someone that walked off the street, right? Now, I can charge them less, though. I can give them a lender credit. But you just said you can't do that, Steve. Well, yeah, okay, correct. I can't, except for one circumstance. And that's if you go shop me with another lender. You come and you show me that evidence that you've been shopping me. Hey, you know what? I started with Mr. Jones down the street. My Karen, my real estate agent, said I've got to use you. So you know what? I don't know what's going on here. I feel a little weird about it, but look, here's his numbers. What can you do? Okay, well, in that case, I can actually give up some of my commission. I can give up some of the branch's commission. I have options then to be able to compete, to a certain degree, right? And we're not going to lose money on it, but to a certain degree, I can compete. But then it's perfectly legal. Okay. Well, most lenders, like me, I would have maybe 1%. If I'm a really privileged, I don't use, privileges a lot kind of thing. Like, look, I'm not doing this all the time. Maybe 1.5%. There are going to be exceptions to this because every shop is run differently, of course. But that's typically what I've seen. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that amount of money can be used for the rate, etc. Well, it's not really a lot when it comes to these builders. These builders and
No.
their builder lender partners. They're already giving up such a huge amount up front that it almost requires, the bigger the builder, it almost requires you as the lender, and this is the stuff people don't get to see. It requires us to go up to the upper high ups in the company and say, hey, listen, we're about to take on an extra 30 loans a month. You got to understand, typical lenders doing two or three, maybe four a
Yeah.
month. Okay. And most of those guys are just gone right now, or struggling to survive. And so you give me 30 a month. This is a really big deal.
That's a lot
Really
of
big
that's a
deal.
lot of
Yeah,
deals.
it's a really big deal, especially because it's not just 30 deals a month. It's 30 deals a month plus another, 4 or 5 times that in phone numbers and emails and
That's
people
right.
that might come back later, etc. Right? And so
Refis at this point.
right, and so you've already priced that in for the most part. And, this isn't always the situation, but for a lot of times in the things that I've run into, it's very normal to have the lender give up a lot of their profit to the builder, which actually is then trickled down to the buyer, so
Mhm.
that the buyer can then get in without paying anything, which isn't exactly accurate either. And gosh, I hope I'm not violating anything by starting this here. I'm not being
No.
very specific here, but oftentimes though, it's not really a detriment to the person buying. It actually helps the person buying with all the money
Correct.
going to the builder. But okay, so the bottom line is that I've never actually heard of someone pitting a builder and their lender up against another builder and their lender ever before. But I've certainly had my pants taken to the cleaners and not found them again in response to trying to go up against a builder, especially these days where they're. I mean, what did we say on the last show that we did, or one of the last shows we showed Lennar? I think
Yeah.
it was Lennar, right? I can't. It was 50,000 something. I can't remember. It was in the 50 range.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was over 50 grand.
I mean,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
my lord! And you've told me that the commissions are through the roof, and so I could never, I
And
can't
and to be
imagine
honest,
in
I
my
haven't
life.
even asked about the commission on this one because it's whatever. I don't care. But it's giving me so much joy at this point because I'm telling you, the first builder came back fast and knocked 15% off the price like that.
Oh!
15%. And of course, what do I do? I'm like,
Off the price.
yeah,
Now,
off the price.
for those of you maybe watching right now,
Well,
you gotta
no, time
understand.
out, time out, time out, time out. Let me rephrase that. Didn't knock it off the price, but the incentive can be applied to the price. And that's in addition to the lender's incentive. Okay. That's in addition to the lender's incentive, which is quite a bit. Let me see. I'm doing math in my head. I think the lender's incentive is about 3.5%. And that's not including the interest rate that they're guaranteeing. So it's 3.5% plus the interest rate plus 15%. And so, of course, what did I do? I'm like, God, you know what? I really, really, really like this builder. Can you just go back to your guys and see if they'll just knock off another 10 grand on this? And she's like, you know what? They won't do it, but let me go to the lender and see if he'll sweeten his deal. I love it. I love it. All these builders that were crapping on everybody for 3 years. Oh my God, this gives me such joy. Oh, this gives me joy.
I'll tell you, man, everybody's hurting right now.
They are. This is a miserable time to be in real estate. I'm not going to lie to anybody. It's
So,
terrible.
fact of the matter is, I used to get really happy about, sticking it to a builder, beating them out on financing, that kind of thing, because they really oftentimes, unless you shop them, at least when things were really good.
God,
Um,
now you're going to make me feel bad, dude.
no, not at
Oh my
all.
God,
Not at all.
now
No,
I'm
I
feeling
I do
bad.
kind of feel bad for anybody having to compete that badly right now, but at the
Yeah,
same time, it's like, this is the game we're in right now. This is how
it
it
is.
is.
It's 100% what we're in.
Yes.
100%.
Furthermore, Furthermore, if you look at, I mean, some of the news articles, which you and I were talking about before, but before they came out, right? Of course, you can tune in here first. But if you start looking at some of the news articles, what are they saying now? It's like you buy a house is it's like 70, 80%, something like 77% higher,
Yeah,
something like that, than it was, just a year ago.
it was.
Um,
Or it is. Yeah.
God, I talked to
Um,
a friend. Oh my God, I talked to a friend the other day who told me that he bought his home in Circle C for $400,000 and ended up selling his home in Circle C in March of this
for
year.
what, 8, 9?
1.1.
He had a big house in Circle C. I figured for four.
1.1.
I figured 400. It was one of the smaller houses, but he bought it a while back.
Ask me how long ago it was when he bought it.
When did he buy it?
About 4.5 years ago.
No way. No way. Dude, what? That's insane.
It's a very trustworthy person who does not
Yeah,
lie.
no, that's
I'm
crazy.
confident.
I would have guessed that he would have bought it 10 years ago. I can't believe he bought a house that big in Circle C for 400 4 years ago. But hey, I'm not going to call him a liar for
Right?
sure. Um,
Crazy.
here's the other thing, and with the builders, I'm gonna so here, these are the secrets that nobody's telling you right now.
I love this. Yes.
We were talking to the sales rep yesterday, and it's a ghost town, okay? And a year, well, I'm not even gonna say a year ago, 6 months ago at this time, Saturdays, Sundays, pardon the expression, it was assholes and elbows, and everybody was working
Right.
7
Right.
days a week, 14 hours a day. Shit was
Pandemic.
getting done.
Yeah.
And I got there yesterday at 3 o'clock, and it was a ghost town. And we were going through, and I'm showing my clients, with the sales rep, and we're going through the house, and there's two houses that are in drywall, and that's the stage they're in. And I looked at the sales rep, and I go, so have you guys just stopped all construction until you get a house under contract? And she said, yep. There is no construction happening for most builders in Austin unless they've got a contract on that house. I'm telling you, houses right now are sitting in whatever stage that they're in. If they don't have a roof on, they're going to be in stud stage. They're going to be getting rained on for the next 6 months. Doesn't matter. They have stopped. They are not paying anybody a paycheck other than who they absolutely have to. There's the secret of new construction homes right there. When shit gets bad, they shut it off.
It's so funny to me. Um, it's like we live in two different worlds, not you and I, but the one we discuss here on the show and then what we read about in the headlines. Because then 3 months later, what we've been discussing on the show is then realistic is reality in the headlines, right?
Right.
So, um, yeah, great indicator. The builders are a great 3 to 6 month
Oh,
lagging behind indicator, typically 2 to 6 usually.
and some of the best advice I was ever given was probably in 2012, 2013. The guy's name is Mark Graham. He's a realtor, but he does a lot of land acquisition for large builders. And this guy is a walking encyclopedia. He's so freaking smart. And he had a binder. It was like 2 inches thick, just full of data. And I mean, like, it made my head hurt flipping through it. And he flips to this one page and he goes, look. And it was this chart that showed new home inventory. And it was kind of, this and drop and up and down. And he tracked new home inventory. And I think he still works for Classic Realty up in Round Rock, or he may have his own place now. Anyway, doesn't matter. And he said, let me tell you a secret about new home construction. He said, new home builders have been doing it the same way. And this is large builders, Lennar, DR Horton, Pulte, Centex, your Scott Felder, all your big ones at this point. He said, they are behind. They will never pay for data and actually look at what's happening in the real time and project forward. He said, when the market starts to heat up, they build everything they can as fast as they can, and they try to get as many doors going as they possibly can. And then the market stops, and they've got no clue for 3 or 4 months. Hey, Steve, when did the market stop in Austin?
Right
in
around June.
June. In June. And so
Yeah.
at this point, we're 4 months in, and the builders are going, "Oh shit, the market stopped." He said, and then they shut it all down and they liquidate everything they've got on the ground. And then he said, then the market will start taking off again, and they won't notice for 3 or 4 months. And then when the market starts taking off again, they're going to go, oh shit, they're going to start building as fast as they can again.
And now
And
who's
they
saying this,
can,
Mark Sprague?
no, not Mark Sprague. That was the guy that I sent you. This guy's name's Mark Graham. He's a realtor, and just a data guru. Um, but he nailed it. And I've noticed it over the 12 years I've been in real estate. I look back and I'm like, yep, he was right on. He's right on right now, which is why this is we'll get to this question in a second. He's right on because right now the builders are liquidating their inventory because they didn't slow down 4 months ago when everybody else went, oh shit, things are happening, and they didn't slow down, and now they're liquidating. And Adam, that's one of the biggest reasons for the fluctuations is because the builders ran their prices up. If you don't know this, builders are in good times, every 3 or 4 houses that a builder puts under contract, they escalate their prices, and their base price goes up, and upgrades go up, and all this stuff continues to go up. This is why I always say the best time to buy a house in a new home construction community is be one of the first 10% of the houses in that community, because the builder is going to build in your equity as they're going. So one of the biggest reasons for the fluctuations right now in home prices is because a resale cannot sell at the same value as a new build, because everybody will go to a new build, all things being equal, and they're going to pay more for that new build because you have your, everything's new, nobody's lived in it, you've got your warranties and all that other stuff. And then right now, because a resale can't sell as high as a new build, when the new builders go, oh crap, and they start tanking the price, resale has no option but to get down below them. That's one of the biggest reasons for the huge fluctuation right now.
So, Adam, I would say, I mean, yes, to what Chris just said, all of that stuff, but to keep it simple, fear, right,
Yeah,
and uncertainty. So, people see that rates have gone up. What was I just? We were just saying, the average person now is going to pay what, seven? I think it was 77% more.
yeah.
The article we read just the other day, 77% more than they for a home every month on the monthly payment than they would last year at the same time.
Yeah, and
Um,
where that number's coming from, and this will help you track it, guys. For every 1% interest rates go up or down, you get either a 12% reduction or increase in buying power. So if interest rates go up 1%, you get a 12% reduction in buying power. That's just the data.
so
That's how the numbers work.
we've we've lost 45-50%
Yeah.
in our buying power. And it's I think it's caused a lot of people to slow down and say, "Whoa, okay, what does the future look like?"
Yeah.
Right? And typically, when that happens, prices drop. Okay, or typically, what's been happening, if you want to dive a little deeper than that, is that the Fed would pivot what they've been doing. But if you want to dive a little deeper than that, it goes much further than that. The global currency is also a big issue.
There's a lot of stuff tied in together here.
Well, more specifically, the bond market. So your question, what is the biggest reason for the fluctuations in the market, is actually a much broader question than I think you probably meant it to be when you asked. But I would say in a micro kind of
Our internet
transaction,
just blinked.
yours did. I hope I'm still here. Um, I hope I didn't just log out. Whatever. Bottom line is I think that if you're going to look in like a within the Austin area, I think a lot of people are you have two problems. I'm going to boil it down to two problems. One is that you've got a lot of buyers that are like, should I wait for the prices to come down and the rates to come back down, or should I buy? And okay, the second, and I could go on with that forever, right? But that's the first problem.
Yeah.
Second problem is you've got a lot of people that are like, okay, cool. I bought a home that's worth twice as much than it was 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And it's at a 3 or 4% interest rate, and my payment is low. And if I move, wow, it's going to be 77% more expensive,
Yeah.
right? For the same payment. But I can't get the same payment anymore. My buying power has been reduced by
That's right.
40, whatever percent,
40%.
48%,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Um, and so, you know, there's not a lot of want to sell in that kind of
Yeah.
situation.
That's right.
I don't really, I don't feel that need like I did before. Maybe we find a job closer to home. Because the payment is so much lower. And when you do sell right now, you're still not quite in a balanced market, but the market you were in before, you could sell your home in a few days. Now it's taking 3, 4 months, right? But it won't be long if things continue before it gets to 6 months, right? Which is
That's
a
right.
balanced market.
It is.
Okay. And so I think there's a lot of people that have just taken pause. But the reality is it's all emotional.
Right.
And
Well, absolutely.
what your buyers are doing right now with those builders, oh my God, you want to see somebody squirm. If you're under
We
contract with a new build, do with your realtor, just do exactly what Chris is doing. Go find another builder and say, you know what, I'm about to close on this other house, but we're just taking one more look to give it a shot, right? And
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
see what your builder does in response. What did you say?
They
15%? Did you
they
say
will
15%?
crap their pants if you do that. I'm telling you, I had buyers that backed out, of a contract. That builder did everything they could. They were throwing additional incentives, dropping the price and everything else, and at the end of the day, it just didn't work out. Builders are losing contracts right now. I mean, and they
That's right.
don't want to.
Again,
So
it's all
they will
emotional.
bend, yeah, they'll bend over backwards to keep you under contract. That's true.
You know everyone else is gonna be emotional. That's when it's time to put your thinking cap on, right? You
Look,
know the builders are panicking. All right, well, let's get 2 panicking parties together, right? Let's
that's
do
right.
that.
That's right.
Um, Man, I'm not kidding. It's now is a really great time because the reports from the economists, right? And that's 2 now that have said, what, January to February, maybe March, we're gonna see things really pick up again.
That's right. That's
And
right.
I think it's going to be because if you look at the history of, well, not the history of, I just saw a graph. It was a graph from the article you sent me,
Yeah.
from what, last 15, 20 years, something like
Yep.
that, of home demand,
Yep.
versus supply. We
We're
have
still behind.
only 2 times in the last 20 years, let's say 15, 20 years,
Yeah.
um, has there been less supply than there is right now, which
You
was
know
the
what?
last 2 years.
Let me see if I can pop that up, because I've still got
Yeah,
it.
that'd be great. Yeah, do it. That'd be a wonderful graph to show.
Uh,
It
Share
looks like things are
screen.
getting worse based on the chart, though. So I mean, I love that these guys have been so accurate. At least I don't know about the other one you talked about, but Mark Sprague, everybody's heard about. I always call him Sprague. I don't know why, but yeah, Mark Sprague.
Yeah.
Everybody's people have talked about this guy in Austin since I got into
Oh,
the
yeah.
industry, and
Yeah,
I'm like
yeah.
dead on. It's one of the very last ones, at the very end. Um, oh,
Oh, it
right
was
there.
that one.
That's the
That
one.
one.
That's the one right there.
No, that's foreclosures.
Oh, just kidding. Oh, that
There
one.
it is.
There you
There
go.
it is.
Right
Yep.
there. There's that trend line.
So here's the supply right now, and I'm trying, annual average month supply is here. This is average.
Right. So the lines to the left are old and the lines to the right are brand
Yeah,
new.
and I'm
And
trying to
2008 is in
see.
red.
It goes back to
2008, 9,
99.
10, 11, 12. Yeah, but basically the
The
last financial crisis is there.
That's the
And that's
housing
how many
bubble. Yep.
houses that's how many houses we had from builders that were overbuilding.
Yep.
Today, we have how long back how far back does that go? What
This is
year?
99.
99.
Yeah.
Okay. It's fine.
So
So more than
23
20,
years. Yeah.
yeah, more than 20 years. So in the last 20 plus years, only twice, and that's since the pandemic, eh, have we seen inventories drop as low as they are right now,
Yeah.
and that was just in the last 2 years. Twice,
Well,
last year and the year before.
and that goes back, I mean, that's exactly what you're saying about all the economists are telling us next spring when we typically, when we typically see that rebound. Is it still sharing or did I get it off?
You got it off.
Okay.
Um,
When we
so
see
yeah, but
that rebound, it's gonna.
here's the thing I don't understand is it takes now it's going to take someone that's 75% wealthier, theoretically, unless I'm missing the math on this one, to buy a home. So if I was making $100,000 and I bought my home, now my neighbor is going to have to be making $175,000 to afford their home. Is that math accurate, do you think?
I
Probably not. I'm
I
probably
don't
not
think so.
I'm probably not accurate on the math, but I think you get my point,
I
right?
get your point, but I think that there's people who can afford homes right now who are choosing not to because they've gotten used to sub 3% interest rates and they're going, I really don't want to do this. But I think the longer they wait and they see that the market's going to take off and that prices are not coming down, I think the people who can afford but are choosing not to, I think those are the ones that we're going to see get back into the market.
There are going to be, this is another prediction of mine.
Okay.
There are going to be whole new departments for hunting down people that are trying to be clever with their mortgages at 3%.
Oh,
Uh,
100%.
with wrapped financing and crazy positionings, and I mean, if you've got a home that costs 1,200 and the market wants 3,000,
Oh,
man,
so
I don't even want
great
to think
time.
about it.
Great
God,
time to point this out. If you did
glad I
not
don't work on that end.
refi, if you did not refi because you got a stellar rate on an FHA or a VA deal and you're considering selling your house, call me, please. Call me, please.
By the way, it's been brought to my attention that there's a lot of new creative financing coming out there that people don't understand. It's not brought to my attention that it's out there. It's been there, but it hasn't been used really until recently, or a decade or two ago, right? On the last crash. So you may have seen some of these, like a 3-2-1 loan, an all-in-one loan.
All in one loan.
I just recently heard of a 5-4-3-2-1 loan.
Holy crap, that costs a lot up front.
I mean, at some point, right? That you just give up, right? There are the ARM loans, which have the number 6 in them, right? Which I'm not being very specific there, but you almost always see like a 10-6 or 7-6, and what's with the 6 now? And I think all of these need to be explained a little bit.
Yeah, they do. Maybe that should be our topic next week.
I think so.
Let's
I think
explain
so.
creative financing next week.
You have any questions, you can always call or email us, right?
That's right.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
it's a lot of the stuff is very interesting, and you discussed the 3-2-1 loan last week, which um,
I
there
know
was
you're not a
one.
fan of.
Well, there's one facet of it I was not aware of, so I do have to correct myself. I ran
Okay.
into a member at Guild Mortgage,
Mhm.
and he told me about their 3-2-1 mortgage loan, which I do not have access to. I can't sell it, so I don't want to be really specific about it. But what he did mention was that, say you use the loan, you're going to buy it down in the first year, and it buys it down in the second year and the third year as well. Well, you don't spend the money for the second or the third year right up front. You get to hold on to that into an escrow account. So
Oh,
you
I didn't
buy
realize
down,
that.
yeah, so which really changes things, at least on a short-term perspective, because if you can save that money, then you could theoretically use it towards the refinance if rates got better. So
Because it's in
that
escrow.
really does change the way I feel about upfront payments to buy down a rate on a mortgage, only temporarily. Uh, uh, but either way, I just wanted to correct myself. So
No, that's
there's that.
good. And as we're signing off here, because we are going to talk about this more next week, I'm just going to show y'all. Can you see the sunset? Oh, you really can't. That's a bummer.
No, it's just a lighting thing. Move it down.
Yeah,
Move it
move it.
down. So get more land than sky, so you
Oh,
can. No, they're not going to work.
yeah, it's
We
not
need a
going to work.
lighting expert. Okay, never mind.
Anyway,
Whatever. All
the sunset is really like it's not crazy colors, but it's pretty nice. So we're going to end on that, guys. We're
I'll
here
tell you,
every Monday.
Texas.
Oh,
I have never taken pictures of sunsets until I moved out to the Texas Hill Country. So
yeah,
that should say something. I know what you're talking about.
yeah, yeah,
Nice.
absolutely. But guys, we're here every Monday, 5 o'clock. Look, if you can get home in time to grab a drink and join us,
Yeah.
do it, because this is the kind of stuff we're talking about, letting you in on secrets, trying to make your life better. Look, here's the thing. Well, I may have asked you to call me in one specific case, but we're not doing this and telling you, hey, call us. We want to be your realtor and your more. We're giving you information. We're giving this away for free. So if you know anybody that this can help, let them know about it. That's awesome. We love referrals. We love helping people. That's why we do this. We're education minded. And so there, that's it. Show up every Monday. I mean, that's what it is, man. We like to drink beer and educate people, right? So show up on Monday.
Yeah, throw your questions. Let's go.
Yeah,
Do it.
and yeah, if you've got questions, guys, don't wait till Monday. Let us know if you want to know something during the week, and we'll answer that stuff as best we can. And our track record's pretty good. If you go back and watch this line of shows, our track record's pretty damn good. Well, I'll say Stevens is pretty damn good. I don't know about
You
Ryan.
can too. You can too.
We will see you next week, folks. You're smiling good. That's a good